Hi Gemini, welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, hi. If you're new here, welcome. I am Shandra Lynn. This is a general energy reading. Please take it how it resonates with you in your life, in your situations, and your experiences. Disregard the rest. And we'll go ahead and get started. Guess everybody's getting a couple of these cards today. You got protection with growth and the two needs of all living things on earth. No, it's not going to happen. Nope. There is no other way to explain it. There is nothing to do. There is no action to take. There is no intervention to have. What you have is protection. Right now, what you have is a reality check. Holy crap. What was your last message about? They only said you could do it your way. They didn't mean it. Now I'm remembering. All right, so you've obviously been going through some, stages. And now here we are. Here you are. They only said you could do it your way. They didn't mean it. All right, so just right off what comes to me with that, I'm really having a hard time fully pulling up everything that I said in your reading last week, but that's because, I'm channeling for spirit. Like Chandra's probably like playing somewhere, flying or whatever, I do. I've been drag racing a lot in my mind. So, that's probably where I've been off. That's probably what I was doing when, you were getting your message last week. So get back to the point and stop squirreling, Chandra. So they only said you could do it that way. They didn't mean it. To me, what comes to my mind is when I first got diagnosed with my stuff and things got really bad, there was a lawyer who was going to help me until it came time to fill out the paperwork. And I said, I do not wish to fill it out that way. This is how I would like to fill it out. And I got told, well, that's not how it's done. And I said, but you can do it whatever way you want to do it, right? And he's like, yes, but that's not how it's done. And I said, I don't want to do it this way. I find that way to be horrible and inhumane. I'm going to do it this way if I'm going to do it at all. And he literally closed my folder and said, if you're adamant about that, I'm not able to help you. And so I left. Because whether you like to believe it or not, life is fucking unfair. And sometimes you always have to fucking sacrifice. And I had to sacrifice that help because unless I was being down and ugly, unless I was getting down in the mud and being just as cruel and mean, there was no one that was willing to help me, which means I was kind of shit out of luck. But I could live in shit out of luck. Like it wasn't life and death if I was choosing me still. That kind of, but that's what came to my mind. They only said you could do it your way. They didn't mean it. And let me define what I'm picking up with that, right? Because the whole point of this argument is your growth. You choosing to grow out of an old environment. And let's think about that for a quick second, right? Because I got thinking about fruit don't fall far from the tree, right? Well, don't we want it to fall farther from the fucking tree so that way it actually has a chance of fucking growing and maturing into a freaking tree? If it doesn't fall far from the tree and it tries to grow there, the parent tree automatically consumes it, smothers it to fucking death, right? So don't you want your fruit to fall farther from the tree if you're hoping that that fruit takes root? So yeah, get on board with that fucking anger right there. Like, yeah, what the fuck? What the fuck, right? So, okay, back on the topic. Sorry. La, 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 la. Okay, growth. You're in this growth state. You're still kind of like, oh, I was hoping that they would come around and see it from my point of view because it's such a good point of view. You're right. It is an amazing point of view. It's an amazing point of view from somebody with the ability to think outside of their fucking needs. Okay, that's what this card says. The two needs all living on earth. You know what that means? Oh my God, what am I eating and who am I fucking? What am I eating and who am I fucking? What am I eating and who am I fucking? And some motherfuckers, like whoever you're dealing with, believes attention, their way or no way, it's life and fucking death to them because they are such shitty fucking people that they have attached their living need. Like, understand they are that fucking sick. Why is this so freaking ugh? You're losing your shit with this, I feel. Like you're spinning in it, trying to figure it out. And it's really freaking simple. That's confirmation. What is that saying to me? Oh, it's not saying. It's just a confirmation ding. Okay. Does this involve your own seeds from your own tree? Right? Sorry, this is so fucked up. So, um, energetically speaking, and everything's kind of camouflaged, right? I'm not really getting a clear picture, but I'm hearing it and I'm getting a visual cartoon like. So um it's like you're able to hear the true meaning behind the words now. And so what you're feeling, even if you're not consciously aware of what you are picking up on, there is a part of you that is highly picking up on it, which is why there's so much like with it, because I'm being shown like you, right? And it's like we're we're going back to the trees, and like I said, it's kind of showing me cartoon like. So if you imagine how cartoons move, and so you got the first tree, and then it produces fruit, and the fruit fall, and then the tree is screaming like, get back up underneath my canopy, right? And so it's like recognizing, well, I need a little bit of sunlight too. And imagine if trees could move themselves, right? um but now you produced fruit and the fruit has fallen, and you want the fruit to go further. You want it to fall further away from you. You want it more in a clearing where it's going to get plenty of light. You want it in a place where when it rains, the water will gather a little bit so that way get it will have access to water. Like It's not like, who's fucking with your kids? What parent of yours is fucking with your kids? Or how you feel like they're messing with your kids? Because that's all this is screaming at me. And there's a part of you that recognizes, because although the big tree is saying like, no, you got to keep it, you got to bring it further up underneath the canopy, I can help protect it and keep it safe, right? But that's an illusion, because what's really being said is, how dare you move that fucking little sapling tree away from me, bring it back here so I can fucking consume it, because I am the greatest and grandest of them all, and that's all you guys are supposed to be here for. And it's like, it believes life or death. That's why it's fighting you so much, because that's what they truly believe. Open back up. Okay, yeah. That is the energy that they are fully immersed in. It is so deeply rooted that even trying to, like, oh my goodness, that's why you got that protection. Sorry. Okay, because there's just a lot of visuals. I'm getting a lot of. All right, so what I'm being shown, right? It's not even necessarily if your fruit has fallen off your tree yet. It's just where the fruit is at on the tree. And because the big tree, the parent tree, is kind of like, oh, you got to stay close to me, right? You're not really producing any fruit on the side of the tree that you share with the parent tree. All the fruit is growing on the other side. And that's just natural habit of growth. That's nature. It's going to produce where it's getting what it needs. All right. But the parent tree is pissed off about that because it doesn't look good to them. What do you mean there's no fruit growing on this side? Why is it only growing on that side? Blah, 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 blah. Right. And then it's like, I would really like to say that this parent tree feels like, if it's not, no, this parent tree does not feel like it's going to be killed or cut down if fruit isn't growing in, but like on its side of you with it, right? It's pissed off that it's not the main focus. It's pissed off about how it automatically looks to, due to its own behaviors and actions. And yet somehow now that blame is supposed, like, you're like, it's being placed on you. But because you are a tree in fruiting fucking season yourself, you're recognizing like, oh shit, that's really kind of not okay. And I'm not okay with that. And if the parent tree really meant what they really fucking said, then why are they freaking the fuck out so bad? Hmm. Make this really cut and dry. Cut, light switch, however you want to call it, but it's kind of, is there a more compassionate way of vocalizing this? Okay. There's not going to be any more cards. First, just take a deep breath if you can, right? And sit with that you're protected, right? Sit with that protection. That's what this time is for. You are going through this growth. The opposite is the two living needs of all things on earth, right? And it's not even really the opposite because honestly, like, yeah, everybody wants to take care of those two needs. What are we eating? And like, family. I wish I could kind of hold your hand for this one because it was a dinger for me and it happened a couple of weeks ago. So I was having issues with going and communicating with somebody. And I knew like it was crazy. Like, why am I having such issues with just going and vocalizing? Like, hey, I'm having issues here. And we talk about it and, figure out what's going on. But this fear, my intuition, everything was pinging and screaming at me that I was in imminent danger. And I asked, like, why am I feeling this? And I got told, because you're at the point of no return. It's cut and dry. What you are either picking up is accurate, and what you are fixing to do, which means going and talking to somebody who has proven that they are holding, like they're just present. There's no ill intentions. I'm not in any danger. So I'm either picking up that I'm in danger on going and communicating, or my nervous system is resetting itself and it's responding to what I have been through in the past, and I'm no longer able to call myself crazy and sit on that fucking fence. What I went through is what I went through because my body is still reacting to it. And it either means that what I'm remembering is accurate or I'm actually in fucking danger right now. And it was that simple. And it hasn't been easy getting through it because the rage coming up with it is wild. But there is some peace in it because it is not your fault. It's just your responsibility on how you're going to move forward in life. And if this is talking about fruit falling from the tree, fuck yeah, you're going to want your fruit to fall the farthest fucking away, right? Isn't that what all loving parent fruit trees want? For their fruit seeds to be able to grow into strong, healthy trees? Do we get any more cards now? Not those ones? Okay. Anyway, so for me in my story, I did walk through it. I'm choosing to believe myself. I'm communicating. Guess what? I'm so fucking okay. I'm safe. I'm happier. My nervous system is really learning that it is safe. And with that comes the rage. Yeah, here you go. You're in the here and now. You got serendipity as well. Now, This card is just speaking to me of maybe during this time, there is really no action for you to take because you are just moving accordingly for you. You can do what you want to do and do it. Don't listen to, the naysayers or whatever. And that's what you're going to do. You are flexible. That's just talking about the storm that's going to come with it. Because you know what you're going to do. And you know how that energy is going to react. And that does not mean that you're responsible for changing the reaction. It just means that you have a beautiful insight and expertise on how to make sure you stay out of harm's way. No place like home. But it's always funny because when I first saw that card, to me it said no peace like home. What is that even meaning? No, no, there will be no change. It's not a change where you ding and you're like, oh, well, maybe this or maybe that, or where it would ding you and you embody this new energy. Understand that this energy does not believe that it's responsible for any of its responsibilities. You are responsible to them for it. You are responsible for making them look good. You are responsible for making sure that goes accurately, just like how they want it to. No milestones are going to make them wake up. The only thing it's doing is pissing them off further and further. Because how dare you? That's why that protection card came out. Get all fucking crazy. This is a crazy energy. Unstable. It's like unstable with the ability to recognize that it was being unstable, but without the accountability to take accountability for its unstableness. So it directly turns it towards somebody else and viciously attacks them. Okay. 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 Synergy, because it's making sense. You ask for it to make sense, and it makes sense. But you don't want it to make sense that way. That's great. What you got? What you got? Stone people in vigilance. Green man synergy with fog and veiled. And then you got stone people with vigilance, right? Because this is making sense. The fog and the veiled is kind of not saying that things are foggy to you. It's not foggy to you. It's foggy to the parent tree. Okay. And you know that. And you know how reactive that's going to make the parent tree. That's why you also got that flexibility card, because you know you got to be dodging a bitch. Whoever I'm talking to, man, childhood was wild, right? Like, I'm right there with you because this shit's like, oh yeah, I remember. Oh, my babies are home. So, stone people with vigilance. Like, stand your ground. You ain't going nowhere. Meadow with vulnerability. Yes, it's really scary. But that's because before it was this energy, if this is like talking childhood stuff, you didn't really get a choice on what you were going through. You had no choice in it. Um, Hi, babies. I love you. I'm recording. Love you too. So you're going to feel very raw and vulnerable right now. But that's why that protection card's there. Like, whoo, you are safe. You are safe. You are safe. You are safe. And it is invoking a whole new pattern, a whole new cycle. Things will be completely different. It's already done. What else was I going to say? Oh, last thing before we go. Like if this is like family parent stuff, kind of how it's coming across in the reading, remember you choosing different ensures a better generation. And that's what healthy, loving people want for the generations to come. They are meant to be better. They are meant to be smarter. They are meant to do better. Any energy in the family that puts off a jealous energy from that, or like, yeah, it's not beneficial. It's not a healthy, that's a sick contagious energy. And the best way, like, keep choosing you. That's just keep doing it. Keep going. You know how to, like, you're flexible. You can dodge this shit. You've been doing it. But the crazy thing is that you don't really have to dodge it now. Because unless you go to it, it's not coming to you, right? That's your responsibility. Come here, make me look good. You're like, no, thank you. But if you loved me, it's funny how you're the one that's supposed to be showing the love, and you're the one that's supposed to be showing up. Funny, right? Yeah, I find it funny too. Because it's fucking bullshit. And with that, we'll leave it there, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye, Gemini.